Getting ready for the main stage are the Manic Street Preachers. Last minute change to the lineup, we're going to hear about that in 2 seconds. Just to have a listen to this, this is the singer, this is James Dean Bradfield. Before we get started talking about the upcoming set that you're doing, how is everything with Nicky? Because we know that he's had to pull out today.
Yeah, no, his mum's had a long-standing illness since last summer. It's a serious illness, so he just couldn't be here today, basically.
Yeah. Upsetting, I'm sure, for all of you, most of all for Nicky. We wish him all the very, very best.
Yeah.
Who have you got standing in for you?
Well, I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but it's a guy that works on our crew called Richard. I won't give his surname because otherwise you'll get inundated with some kind of mail from some of our fans. He's Richard from Pontypool, South Wales, and he's actually filled in for Nick before. He hasn't quite got the long legs of Nick, so he won't be wearing a skirt like Nick does. But he's an exemplary musician, and he's a brilliant person. So
great stuff.
Thanks to him for stepping in.
Is it good to be back in Belfast?
It is, yeah, because I wouldn't say it was one of our ambitions to play here at the start, but we wanted to play Belfast. You know, we had a big list of places that we wanted to go when we released Motown Junk on Heavenly Records in '91. And Belfast was, near top of the list because so many good bands had come out of Belfast. There'd been such an active music scene here. And obviously, we we knew a lot of the music that we liked that came from Belfast was influenced and mitigated by, obviously, the politics of Northern Ireland. But that wasn't even the reason. It was just that the music was good. And there was such discernible personalities coming out of Belfast. And, places like the Limelight, which we first played in 1991, there was always live reviews coming from the Limelight. So we just wanted to come here because we knew that there was a great audience here. And we just wanted to come because then, there was a legend about Belfast gigs to a certain degree, just like there was in other parts of Britain. So it was on the list.
Resistance is Futile has been out, about a month now. How are you feeling bringing it out, playing it live?
It's different. When we release records now, everything seems different.
In what way?
Everything, before Richey disappeared, on a really puerile level, before Richey disappeared, none of us had ever downloaded anything. We barely ever bought bottled water. And I think Richey had some weird, massive, gigantic mobile phone, and that was it. So, the way we digest music, the way we look at culture, the place where music fits into the cultural landscape has completely changed. The way it's digested, the amount of money you get for it, the amount of money you don't get for it. So we were lucky. We grew up in the 90s where people still really digested music and it was a part of their lifestyle. And now that's not the case. It's much harder for a younger band now to actually be a musician and not have another job. I had a job as a barman and a labourer up until just before '91. And then, even though the band was making such little money, I could give up for a while, even though I was still living at my parents'. A band can get onto their second album and they still got to have a job to be in a band, which I kind of feel sorry for them. I'm not saying it's penury of the highest degree, but a lot of musicians just can't focus on being in a band anymore. Yeah.
I know you're a Cardiff and Nottingham man, but what chance do you give Liverpool tomorrow night?
Oh, God. I really hope they do it. I do. Because it feels as if Liverpool need to re-own their birthright kind of thing. But although I do feel I would love Gareth Bale to have another Champions League medal. But it just feels, I don't want it to be fate intervened.
The one and only James Dean Bradfield, lead singer of the Manic Street Preachers. They're still knocking it out the park 30 years on, aren't they, Stuart?
They are amazing. I mean, I remember them from the very beginning. I sent a questionnaire to them when I worked at the NME, and we used to do a thing called The Material World Of, and it was one of these things. What do you read? What was the last book you read? What can you cook? And then people used to all send the same fairly prosaic and tedious things back. And there was this new band from Cardiff, the Blackwood, that I'd heard about, and I thought, yeah, it will come. And I sent them this interview, this thing, and every answer they'd answered with a quote from Karl Marx, Sylvia Plath, T.S. Eliot, Yukio Mishima, and from that moment on, they have been my favourite band. And nearly 30 years on, they are still my favourite band. I will be there at the front at 6:20. I'm going to introduce them on stage, which I'm really excited about. But then I'll be down the front. They're still as glamorous and articulate and passionate and intelligent as ever. Yeah. But if James is hearing this, he'll be nauseated.